In this video, we're going to talk about acylation of amines. In the carboxylic acid derivatives chapter, we learned ways to make amides. And so one way to make an amide was to use an acid chloride and then react that with two equivalents of the amine. And that will give us the amide. Here we're just working in the other direction. Right, rather than starting with the acid chloride as the substrate, we're using the amine as a substrate, and we're reacting that with an acid chloride. But we also know that we can use hydrolysis to convert the amide into a carboxylic acid. In that chapter, we were interested in making carboxylic acids. In this chapter, we're interested in the amines. And so what this does is it gives us a way to convert an amine into an amide and then go back to the amine. And so acylation of an amine can be used as a protecting group. And this is particularly useful in electrophilic aromatic substitution reactions that we learned a couple chapters ago. And we'll look at two specific examples where it can be advantageous to use acylation as a protecting group for the amine. So in the first example, if we consider starting with aniline, if I wanted to brominate that, it's difficult to just do a monobromination because the NH2 is such a strong activating group that we usually end up with polybromination. And so, in some sense, the amino group is too powerful of an activating group if my goal is to monobrominate it. And so this is where the acylation can come in. If I start with aniline and then I react that with an acid chloride, that will give me the amide, and now I've gone from a strongly activating group to only a moderately activating group, and so that will lead to the monobromination, and then I can use hydrolysis to give me back the original amine. Another example where this acylation can be helpful is in the Friedel-Crafts reactions. So if I have aniline and I try to do a Friedel-Crafts reaction, the base that is the amine is actually going to react with the Lewis acid that we're using as the catalyst for the Friedel-Crafts reaction. And so I go from something that is strongly activating to something that is strongly deactivating. And we know that if we have moderate or strongly deactivating groups, the Friedel-Crafts reactions won't work. And so I can't do Friedel-Crafts reactions on aniline. But if I start with the aniline and acylate it, amides are not good bases, and so they won't react with the Lewis acid, and I still have a moderately activating group, so the Friedel-Crafts reactions will still work. And so then I can do the Friedel-Crafts reaction to put on my alkyl group, and then I can use hydrolysis to give me back the amine that I started with. And so these are two examples where acylation of amines can be helpful, particularly in electrophilic aromatic substitution reactions.